All right, today we're going to be looking across the markets. We're going to be looking at the S&P 500. I'm going to be talking about whether or not I'm still watching these trend lines going back to March and why not. Also, we're going to take a look at what's going on with the Nasdaq. We'll also take a look at the dollar, which is like slow paint drying. Gold, silver, Bitcoin. We get to focus a little more on Ethereum. Chainlink also here, trading above what could be a very important level. I've been saying $12.90 for a while. Above it, we could really get going. Let's check it all out together. Let's start with the S&P 500. By the way, if you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. A couple of things I want to focus in on. First, on the S&P 500, you could see that so far, after this breakout over here, we were watching this range over here. We were watching this big consolidation pattern. We were also watching, it just happened a lot quicker than I expected, for when price broke above this trend line over here. I said at that point, equities are no longer risky and have potential for further upside. Now we've broken above. However, that came with a really huge breakout, 4.5%. We said yesterday that felt like the market overreacted. Sure enough, it did. The market came all the way back down, is currently testing that broken resistance to see if we get some support right over here. We're going to take a look at that. Before I do, I want to focus on the question of I'm still focusing on these bullish trend lines that have been giving us our structure going back all the way over here since the end of March into the beginning of April. And if you look over here at this last trend line we had in the whole series, the whole set, you could see that over here last week, we never closed. These are spikes below that support. Here's that support. These are spikes below, but we never closed below it. That actually held. Now on the upside also, I want you to focus in on over here. Let me make this one brighter. You could see this trend line right here, and it's going to first make it a little bit brighter so you could see it. And now I'm going to extend it up. You could see over here, if you extend it up, obviously it's going to come right into there in the resistance. As I do that, I just want to make sure that I have the correct angle and don't lose it. So I focus actually on a different part of the chart. My eyes focus over here as I pull it up. But you could see that, yes, that is perfectly still in play, providing the resistance for the last move. What does that mean when you zoom out? How is that a help for us right now? Right now, if traders should be focused right over here on the breakout, the retest, and we're looking for a resumption up. Is that the buy signal do you want to take? That's the first early signal. Some people like to take the third or the fourth higher high. I usually go with the first, reason being it's the same stop loss you would use on each of them. And even if the trade bounces around before taking off, you still have the correct entry on the trade. Now, what is going to happen, by the way, these trend lines over here that currently have been in play, we will still use over if we should make new highs over here. That's going to be our guide on the upside, what resistance we are looking for. They're still very much in play. They're still very much effective. We're going to keep using them. I've just been focused on this pattern right over here, and now we've broken above the top trend line over there. We're coming in for the retest. Now is a potential entry here on the S&P 500. Different story on the Nasdaq. Why is that a different story? First of all, you could go back and our last line over here, right? That held over here as well, just like on the S&P 500. Still very much relevant. What about now on the upside over here? What resistance do we come into? And you could see over here as I extend this line. There we go. We got to switch this over. And then I'm going to extend this line up over here. Again, my eyes focused on the past over here as I draw the line up. And you could see that, of course, this resistance, these trend lines are still relevant. And again, should we take out this swing high from earlier in the week, at that point, we'll be using these other lines as guides for how far that move might go. You could see that they are extremely relevant still. Now on the on the Nasdaq, we did not hold over here. We had the breakout. This is why we never ever take breakouts. Market overreacted. Came back down pretty quickly over here for the retest. Never resumed up, giving entry signal. Has fallen back down now inside the consolidation pattern. People might be looking here for bargains on the tech stocks, and that may very well be. However, that's not how we make a living investing in the markets. We're looking for high probability setups, and then we're adding whatever edges we can on top of each other in order to give us the greatest edge in the markets. Over here, you can see that support is holding. Would I trade a resumption off of there? You know what? It's not so interesting for me. That possibly could be a signal someone could take. They could question it. You're in the middle of a range right over here between the resistance, the support. You're in the middle. There's enough room over here if you were to take a trade like this where your risk to reward going right into the resistance warrants it. And at that point, I would not look to take any profit. I would just only be seeing whether or not you're able to push out above that trend line resistance. Does that trade look better than the S&P 500? Those are things that you should be asking yourself. The DXY is going to be brief, and that is that we are still sideways over here. I have a bearish leaning on this. However, it's really quite neutral over here right now. If you look at the thumbnail of this video over there, you see a Bloomberg index chart. That also gives a very good read. And it's hard to read right now what is happening with the dollar. But I could say that right now we're into resistance. And if this breaks above, I will not become a dollar bull until we trade above 94. I don't want to get caught up in some chop over here, and we are, after all, still in this zone that we've not been able to break out of for months. Gold, you know what, has a very bearish tint over here. When I say that, I was seeing yesterday as I did the afternoon update and price was trading all the way down here around 1850. I said it was too soon to call. Price since then has come up. Sure enough, that broken trend line support has now become resistance. We have not resumed off though. We have not resumed off, giving that indication that we're looking to go ahead and take out that last swing low. And that would be the signal here that we're looking for lower prices on gold in the near term. Hasn't yet given it. It could go either way. Same thing on silver. I would say that both of them are quite neutral and still have the potential to go either way. If you look at what's going on with the dollar, that also lines up. And that's the read on the market. I do want to check in on Bitcoin only because you could see that it is potentially getting ready over here for its next leg up. You could see that the altcoins are, and this morning, I gave this as 50-50. It's hard to tell whether or not we're going to put a leg up in or whether or not we're going to come back down and test maybe a little bit lower of a support. It's not really clear. I am seeing altcoins though. Ethereum up almost 2% over here. You can see that it's challenging also the resistance over here, getting ready for possibly a break within the next few hours, the breakout. And again, it is into resistance though, and that resistance could hold. We are close to an inflection point though. We're going to get some type of follow through pretty soon. Same thing here with Chainlink. I'll bring this up to you today because Chainlink right now currently up 4% is challenging that resistance at $12.92. I have been maintaining for a while now that once we trade above that, close above there, confirm this into support, that we could be seeing $15.80, $16 or even testing the August highs in a relatively short amount of time. That could happen within the next 6 weeks by the end of this year. And again, we could be in a similar situation to Bitcoin where it's expected to be towards December. And that will be the new highs actually occurring in very early first quarter 2021. So I'm sensing that we're about to get a broad-based crypto rally over here. I am seeing the altcoins participating. Led by here on my list, Chainlink, Ethereum also up, Bitcoin unchanged, but also getting ready to participate with the rest of them. Everyone, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you in the morning.